I was originally gonna start rapping in this one. I had it last night where I rhymed movies with boobies. Remember?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this movie, but first I want to see them boobies.
Oh yeah.
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 And then I made the Annie connection with if this girl like Annie, I'm gonna slap her fanny. Kind of remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want to. Okay, Dashcam. This is the new film from Rob Savage, who did a couple years ago. He did Host, the found footage laptop horror movie that came out on Shudder that was like 50 minutes long, and it really kind of swept the internet. Everyone really liked it. I really liked it. She really liked it. It was a good flick. So when he was releasing a Dashcam kind of found footage thing. A couple of years later with a budget and whatnot, I was like, hell yeah, sign me up, right? Sign us up.
Sign us up.
I want to say this right out the gate because I think this is super important. This is going to be the make or the break of the film. So this needs to be up front, addressed immediately. This character, Annie, played by this musician of the exact same name, playing herself within the film to a degree. She uses her own name anyway, and she is a musician as well. This is going to make or break the film for you. You will either like her and be able to take her, or you're not going to be able to, and it's going to ruin the film for you. She is extremely grating, and I have talked to about 50 people now about this movie, friends of mine who have all seen it, and that is it right there. It's, are you okay with her? And then they liked the movie. And then the other people were like, I fucking hated her. One of the people I was talking to, he's like, I haven't turned a movie off in years.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But she was so unnervingly awful to me.
Yeah.
I could not take 20 fucking minutes of it. I had to shut it off because she's so annoying. And the film leans, and this is not to be political or anything on this channel, because we don't talk about that kind of shit on here ever. But this film leans very hard on something. Now, whether or not it is anti that or not, this girl is like a super hardcore Trumper MAGA person who's anti-mask, anti-vax, and she's talking about it the entire time.
All the time.
I think the film is making fun of those people through her, but I don't know, because honestly the way she acts is the way these people act. So to me, I don't know. I don't know if they're pro that or not. Honestly, I don't care. That has no impact on my opinion of the film. Whether I was supportive of that or not, I don't give a fuck. That's not anything to do with my opinion on this film. She took every bit of attention this film ever tried to create out of a film for me.
Yes.
This film is tonally an absolute mess.
Oh my gosh, it's all over the place.
It's like trying to be super serious in one moment, and then this girl like almost like turns the camera towards her and just like makes a fart joke or something.
Oh, she's
and you're like,
she.
Who the fuck would do that in this moment?
Oh, it's so unbelievable and just like, I mean, I definitely was like, when we were watching, I'm like, okay, she's trying to cope with like this insanity that's happening and is like holding on to the only thing that she knows, which is acting like a troll. But even with that as like a reason for why she does it, it makes no sense. Like,
none.
If what happens in the film is so insane, and like if it really happened to you, it would be beyond scary. You would drop any kind of pretense that you had, like any kind of like persona that you were pushing to the world would be gone, because all you would be thinking of is survival. So, but I don't know if that's like the intent of the film. I don't think it is supposed to be a realistic. Well, I mean, to be a realistic portrayal. I think it is supposed to be this like a caricature, like put into this like, crazy situation and just like seeing how she's acting.
Yeah. It's definitely over the top.
Yes.
On purpose. It's like a bombastic comedy with horror, right? It's almost like trying to be like an Evil Dead 2 or something, where it's like trying to mix comedy and horror at the same time while staying horrific and funny at the same time.
For me,
And it just does not blend
no.
like that. I hate to even bring up Evil Dead 2 because they're not even in the same league with one another. But regardless, I do think that that's kind of the intention there. And there are going to be people, plenty of people, who that worked for. Because my friend Alex, even my friend Paul, who that shocked me because he's like the biggest anti-Trumper of all time, was like, he really liked the movie. And I was like, I talked to him about it, and he's like, no, I think that the movie's shitting on them.
Yeah.
So you can have that interpretation. Doesn't matter. But you have to accept that. And if you are okay with what's happening with her, because this girl is like, she's a freestyle rapper, and she's like freestyle rapping through half the film. While fucking like literal insanity is happening around her. A monster of like unknown origins, which I really liked.
Yeah, there was. Like that. There was some really like actually scary parts to it as far as the found footage goes. Like and also just what was happening with whatever that monster was.
Yeah.
And then at the end, I was like, okay, I'm really into this.
Yeah.
But like her throughout, it was just like she could not be more, like you said in the beginning, like grating and just distracting for so much of the horror in the film. And honestly, like, this doesn't happen to me with found footage very often, and I couldn't tell if it was the movie because I said it to you a few times last night, but I got really nauseous.
Yeah.
And like had eye strain, and I
that was just her.
Just her. Well, I don't know, because a lot of found footage relies on that like shaky cam, like things are happening really fast, but I do feel like there's a good part of this movie that felt like my eyes just couldn't focus for whatever reason. And I think my favorite part was actually the credits at the end.
Well, that's just it. Like, it's weird because she ruined the movie for me. 1,000%. That being said, I still think that she was really funny at times, especially in the credits.
Mm-hmm.
When
the
credits are really funny to me. Yes. Like, I was like, oh, that's a really clever way to end this film. Yes. Too bad I don't give a fuck at this point.
Yeah.
Because her character killed this film for me. But like, I think she's actually like pretty clever.
Yeah.
You know, and like has talent, but was so misused in this film. Like, this character being in this situation was too much, and there's gonna be people who heavily disagree, and they're gonna be like, no way. I don't know. Here's the thing though. I don't understand how anybody could watch this movie and not understand why someone didn't like it.
Oh my god, I
like,
know.
That would be fucking delusional to me.
Yeah.
Be like, you can't see why I thought she was annoying and ruined the film. Really? You're fucking lying. So you're just being biased or something. You're turning your fucking
contrarian. Really,
yes,
is what that
something.
Would be.
She is so clearly somebody who is going to be a super contrast. Like, some people are gonna fucking love her, and
very divisive.
It's gonna be very divisive. Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this choice of this character was a very risky one. Did not pay out for us at all.
No.
I don't think, I'm gonna say 70+% of people, because people don't like when you bring politics into films these days, like, at all. And this is the most in your face.
Oh,
she's screaming at people about being fucking, slaves and to the man and the system and anti-vaxxer and all this stuff. And it's like, man, you're already treading on thin water, on thin ice there. And then if you have the MAGA crew too, who are watching this and think you're poking fun at them,
oh my gosh,
then you're going to lose them too.
Right. So it's like, where do you?
Yeah,
find,
your audience is like this real thin margin in the very in between.
I honestly think that I was more uncomfortable in the beginning of the film before like crazy shit started happening, when it was just her being crazy, and like that stuff, like when she's talking to people, like all of that made me super uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then, by the time we got to the more, horror aspects, I was just, like I said, so distracted by her that I feel like all the other elements of the film kind of got lost. And it's a shame because, the monster was was really cool. And there was like a couple scenes that I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening here? It didn't make sense. But then there was others that were just pretty terrifying. And then she popped up and was like,
yes.
buffet.
Yes, literally. Yeah, last two things to say on it, just kind of mirroring off of her for one of them, being that, like, I do think that it's a shame because there is cool shit going on in the film that is distracted by a really grating character. And secondly, her like annoyance of like the misplaced humor and all of that is one thing for sure, and probably the most obvious and the most prominent. But even take that stuff away, she's such an unlikable, shitty person that you have no fucking like.
Oh my God.
You do not care if
like,
this
she could
shit.
die.
I mean, fucking kill this girl. I don't give a shit. She's horrible to her friend.
Like,
she's
oh my
horrible
God.
to everyone she's around.
Everyone, like literally
She's
a real
shit
life
to her fucking, because the
internet
whole thing
troll.
is like live.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
she's
crazy.
terrible to her fucking followers. She's terrible to herself. She's just a dreadful person
It's so
overall. So even take all the annoying stuff away, and she's just a awful person too. Which I don't hate watching a protagonist that's more of an antagonist, but regardless, there's nothing redeeming about her is the problem, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly.
So, man, this was a huge letdown
Yeah.
because of one character choice. But I think that this will land really well with very niche audience.
Yeah.
And
There's definitely going to be
that's
people that
fine.
are like, this is fucking awesome. I'm so into it. And that's cool.
Yeah,
It's your
if
thing
this is
and
the
you
fucking
love it.
film that he wanted to make.
The end credits are really fun. I like the end
I think
credits.
that the people who hate her are gonna not like that. They're not, if they're gonna sit there. I think we appreciated it because we just thought it was a clever,
Well, 'cause
cute, funny thing.
At that point, I think I was like, this is the actress. This isn't the character. And I don't know if the actress, because I know it's her name that she's doing.
Yeah, if she's
And
like
I know
this.
you looked up, like, she's got a Spotify because she is a musician. I don't know what her politics are or if she is like this. But in my mind, I, like, separated it. And I was like, that's the character. And then the end credits is just the actress being, like, goofy.
Yeah, and
that's why
I did. I liked
it.
it. I laughed and I was like, okay. But within the horror film, this kind of almost reminded me a tiny bit, and I know a lot of people hated this. I didn't, but of the kid in The Visit. Because he raps a bunch in it. And people were like, they didn't like that and they thought he was annoying. But I actually liked him and I liked his rapping. I thought it was funny.
It is funny.
But and it's never misplaced.
No.
That's the difference.
It's not misplaced. Like when shit happens in The Visit, he's not rapping.
No,
about
he's fucking freaking
grandma.
out like anyone would.
Exactly.
So, but you'll get that tone or you won't.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't accept that tone, but I'm not an idiot. I get that that's the tone they were going for.
Yes.
And it just didn't work. It didn't blend for me. I was just so like, because there is really scary shit happening, and I'm like, man, I really want to be in this, but like every time they'd be like showing something that was freaky or something, and I'd be like, oh wow, this is getting crazy. Then she'd literally like turn the camera and just start like talking about random like dicks
cocks and
and you're like,
and...
stop!
I know.
Stop! There's something
You know what
crazy
it's
going
like,
on.
It was literally like you take like a super obnoxious and annoying like 11, 12-year-old boy who has no filter and only wants to say things that makes people mad.
And also like there's nothing
that was it
scary happening around him.
Yeah, and he's
because
like
this wouldn't be happening
bored.
if something was scary.
He's like
but,
super bored, yeah.
But you can't take the film literally.
Yeah.
She's just over the top for over the top's sake, and that's the tone they were going for. But I couldn't disconnect myself.
No.
And maybe that's my own fault, but regardless, this didn't work. And I'm done. So,
right, me too.
moving on. Bye.